What's up, Ravens fans? It's time to hear from you guys in this week's Ravens Mailbag. It's now the third and final week of OTAs, and lots of questions about how this roster is going to look. The first one here today comes from Jim T. Jim wants to know, how's the running back depth chart shaping up? Do you think we're going to see much of the rookie, Justice Hill, this season?
Yeah, I think that we certainly will see some of Justice Hill. I mean, just think about how many running backs we saw last year. Just by virtue of injury and because the Ravens like to roll their running backs, like a lot of teams around the NFL do these days. We're not in the days of Jamal Lewis, right, where you have a bell cow and he just carries the load. These days, you have two and oftentimes three running backs that see action in the game. Now, Justice Hill will have to, I think, contribute on special teams as well. You know, as a rookie, the more things you can do, the more chances you're going to have on the field. But I think as a pass catcher, change of pace, that's why they drafted him. They want an explosive home run hitter to step in there every once in a while, spell somebody like a Gus Edwards or a Mark Ingram, who I think are going to probably be your two lead backs. They're going to get a lot of action, but they need a break too, and Justice Hill has the potential, I think, to bring something that those guys don't necessarily add.
It's a good point about how many running backs the Ravens ran through last year. I mean, think about it. Gus Edwards wasn't even on the team at the start of the season, and he was the starter the second half of the year.
Buck Allen saw some time last year. I mean, not significant offensive snaps, but go back and look at how many receptions Buck Allen made last year. He was on my fantasy team for a part of the year. That shows you how many running backs the Ravens will use.
Yeah, all right, let's keep it moving here. This question comes from Alexander Hollander. And Alexander wants to know, he says, greetings from Germany.
Wow, all right,
yeah,
here we
international
go.
fan, we like it. How are last year's rookies like Zach Sieler, Bradley Bozeman, and Chris Azalea doing? Well, Chris Azalea, he is from Germany, right?
I know why he got thrown into that question.
So Chris Azalea, he's doing well. He's a fullback, so he's getting work on the practice squad. I don't expect to see him in too many games, but I think he's coming along okay. Now for the other guys. Zach Sieler, I think, is quietly going to be a really important player on the team this year. Last pick for the Ravens last year, 7th round guy. But
Ozzy's last pick.
Ozzy's last pick, so he has that kind of banner on him. But I think that he's looked pretty good during these offseason workouts. He was somebody last year that the Ravens really liked. In training camp, he got a little bit of action in the game once the season started. So I think Sieler's going to be a really important part of this defense.
Yeah, he's kind of like Brent Urban. I mean, Brent Urban was the one player the Ravens didn't really replace in the draft. That kind of big-bodied guy, tall, lanky defensive end. Sieler most accurately fits that mold.
And that's an open opportunity.
Yeah,
Obviously, Brent Urban gone. Now, in terms of Bozeman, he's getting reps right now with the ones because you don't have Marshall Yanda out there. The left guard spot is up for grabs. The center spot, there's competition in there with Skura. So Bozeman has a real opportunity in front of him. If he goes out there and plays great during the preseason and training camp, he could find himself in the starting lineup.
I probably would say that James Hurst is the leading contender at left guard right now, and obviously Yanda will be there at right guard. But Bozeman's in that mix with Hurst and I think Alex Lewis.
Yep.
And we'll push Matt Skura, like you said. Last question comes from Michael Everett, and the question is, although we're not finished with OTAs, what position group are you excited to see going into minicamp and training camp? You know, I get tired of asking or answering questions about wide receivers.
Are you going to answer
one? But I'm going with wide receiver on this. So, I mean, come on. We're in no contact in OTAs and limited contact in minicamp. The wide receivers are really the group that you pay attention to and that stand out. We're not looking at offensive line. They're not that great to look at. So wide receiver, I think that this competition is going to be really good because like we've outlined, I think 4 spots are, you pretty much know, but then you have 4 or 5 players that are really competing for 2 spots at the back end of that position group. So I'm really excited to see who emerges there between Michael Floyd, some of these younger guys. Lastly, Jaleel Scott, I think, is
Seth Roberts in that mix. Yeah, I think
completely.
it's a really good group. Real quick, I would say cornerback, secondary as a whole.
The safety is going to be really interesting.
Really excited to see that as well. All right, so that's all the time we have questions for this week, but we love to hear from you guys. So send in those questions every single week using the hashtag RavensMailbag. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.